Access your free language gifts right now before they expire. First, the Talking About Dates PDF Conversation Cheat Sheet. Learn how to talk about your plans on specific dates in the target language. Plus, must-know vocabulary for months, days of the month, and more. Download this cheat sheet for free. Second, the Ultimate Guide to Beginner Language ebook. Want a free way to boost your vocabulary? With this new PDF ebook, you'll master over 500 beginner words and phrases, more than enough to start speaking the language with confidence. Third, how do you say winter in your target language? Don't know? Access this 1-minute lesson to learn all winter-related words and phrases. If you want to learn these words fast, use the free audio slideshow tool inside the lesson. Fourth, do you know how to express holiday greetings in your target language? Access this 1-minute lesson to learn phrases like Happy Holidays and Have a Happy New Year. Fifth, can you talk about holiday accommodations in your target language? Learn how to say hotel, guest house, inn, and much more with this quick vocab bonus. And sixth, want an app that teaches you the language through conversations? Download Innovative Language Learning for free for the Android, iPhone, and iPad. You'll unlock bite-sized lessons that teach you practical conversations and get you speaking in minutes. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. Welcome to the 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series. Each lesson will help you learn new words, practice, and review what you've learned. Okay, let's get started. First is Beijing. 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 Beijing is a very, very big city in China, one of the biggest cities in the world. Here's an example sentence. Beijing, capital of the People's Republic of China, is also called Peking. Beijing, capital of the People's Republic of China, is also called Peking. Beijing, capital of the People's Republic of China, is also called Peking. London. 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 London is the biggest city in the country of England, another very, very famous city and well-known city around the world. Here's an example sentence. London is the capital of England and the United Kingdom. London is the capital of England and the United Kingdom. London is the capital of England and the United Kingdom. Paris. 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 Paris is France's biggest city. It's well known for things like the Eiffel Tower. Here's an example. The capital and largest city in France is Paris. The capital and largest city in France is Paris. The capital and largest city in France is Paris. Berlin. 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 Berlin is the capital city of Germany, another huge city. Here's an example. Berlin is the largest city and capital of Germany. Berlin is the largest city and capital of Germany. Berlin is the largest city and capital of Germany. New York. New York. New York. New York is a very famous city on the East Coast of the United States of America. Here's an example. More than 10 million people live in the New York area. More than 10 million people live in the New York area. More than 10 million people live in the New York area. Rome. 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 Rome is a very big city in Italy. It has so much interesting culture and history. Here's an example. The largest city and capital of Italy is Rome. The largest city and capital of Italy is Rome. The largest city and capital of Italy is Rome. Moscow. 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 Moscow is the biggest city in Russia, the capital city of the country. Here's an example. The largest city in Russia is Moscow, its capital. The largest city in Russia is Moscow, its capital. The largest city in Russia is Moscow, its capital. Ticket. 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 A ticket is a noun, and it refers to usually a piece of paper or a digital piece of paper that you can use to get on a train, to go to a movie, to attend an event, and so on. Here's an example. Get your ticket at the station before getting on the train. Get your ticket at the station before getting on the train. Get your ticket at the station before getting on the train. Round trip. Round trip. Round trip. So round trip is an expression we use to refer to a travel situation where you want to purchase a ticket or a flight that covers the way to the destination and the return. So we can think of this as a circle. We start at one point, go somewhere, and return to the origin point. This is a round trip. Here's an example. The round trip fare will get me there and back again. The round trip fare will get me there and back again. The round trip fare will get me there and back again. Express train. Express train. Express train. An express train is a fast train because it does not stop at all of the stations on the train line. It stops usually at major stations only, so it goes a little faster than regular trains. Here's an example. The express train will take you between major cities nonstop. The express train will take you between major cities nonstop. The express train will take you between major cities nonstop. Let's review. I'm going to describe a word or phrase in English. See if you can remember it. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say the capital city of China? Beijing. Beijing. And how to say the capital city of England? London. London. What about the capital city of France? Paris. Paris. Do you remember how to say the capital city of Germany? Berlin. Berlin. Let's try the biggest city on the east coast of the USA. New York. New York. What about the capital city of Italy? Rome. Rome. Now, let's see if you remember how to say the capital city of Russia. Moscow. Moscow. Another one. What about the word we use for the piece of paper we buy before attending an event? Ticket. Ticket. Do you remember how to say the kind of travel that covers the destination trip and the return trip together? Round trip. Round trip. And finally, do you remember how to say the word that means a train that does not stop at all the local stops, but goes only to the major stations? Express train. Express train. Well done. See you next time. Bye. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. Welcome to the 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series. Each lesson will help you learn new words, practice, and review what you've learned. Okay, let's get started. First is local train. Local train. Local train. A local train is a train that stops at all stations on the train line. Here's an example sentence. The local train stops at every small station along its route. The local train stops at every small station along its route. The local train stops at every small station along its route. Timetable. 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 A timetable is a list of times of usually departures and arrivals or other types of schedules. We use timetables a lot for buses, trains, for classes, lectures, and other things that require a strict schedule. Here's an example. Departure and arrival times are all on the timetable. Departure and arrival times are all on the timetable. Departure and arrival times are all on the timetable. Ticket inspection. Ticket inspection. Ticket inspection. A ticket inspection is an expression that means a ticket check. So when you get on a bus or a train, for example, you may be asked to show your ticket. The staff want to confirm you have a ticket or that you have the correct ticket, for example. Here's an example sentence. Keep your ticket handy for a ticket inspection at each stop. Keep your ticket handy for a ticket inspection at each stop. Keep your ticket handy for a ticket inspection at each stop. Ticket gate. Ticket gate. Ticket gate. A ticket gate is a short gate you pass through with your ticket. Depending on the gate, you may need to show your ticket to a staff member or put your ticket into the gate to have it checked by the gate. Here's an example sentence. Show your ticket at the ticket gate on the way to the train. Show your ticket at the ticket gate on the way to the train. Show your ticket at the ticket gate on the way to the train. Platform. 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 A platform is the place next to the train tracks. It's where you get on the train and the place where you go to after you get off the train. This is the area where you can wait for your train to arrive. Here's an example sentence. The man is waiting on the platform. The man is waiting on the platform. The man is waiting on the platform. Ticket machine. Ticket machine. Ticket machine. A ticket machine is a machine where you can buy a ticket. It may look like a vending machine. It may be some kind of machine in a wall. It depends on the location, but it's a place where you can buy a ticket for something. Here's an example. The ticket machine is broken. The ticket machine is broken. The ticket machine is broken. Ticket booth. Ticket booth. Ticket booth. A ticket booth is a small area of usually a lobby or maybe an information desk where you can buy a ticket from a person. So it's different from a ticket machine because usually there is a staff person there to help you. You find ticket booths in train stations and in movie theaters, for example. Here's an example sentence. The ticket booth is empty. The ticket booth is empty. The ticket booth is empty. Print. 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 So print is a verb. Maybe you have a printer in your home. When you print something, you make it go from a digital form on your computer to a physical form on a piece of paper. Here's an example sentence. We needed to print 500 copies of the memo. We needed to print 500 copies of the memo. We needed to print 500 copies of the memo. Publish. 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 To publish something means to make something public. We use this with writing and with digital content. So, for example, blog content or video content or social media content. Here's an example. Should we publish the new book on paper or on the internet? Should we publish the new book on paper or on the internet? Should we publish the new book on paper or on the internet? Pamphlet. 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 A pamphlet is usually a piece of folded paper that has some basic information about an event, a company, or an organization. They are usually very easy to take, and they are often free at event spaces. Here's an example. A pamphlet is a good, cheap way to pass out valuable information. A pamphlet is a good, cheap way to pass out valuable information. A pamphlet is a good, cheap way to pass out valuable information. Let's review. I'm going to describe a word or phrase in English. See if you can remember it. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say the train that stops at all the stations along the train line? Local train. Local train. And how to say the list of departure and arrival times for things like planes, trains, and buses. Timetable. Timetable. What about the expression that means your ticket check? Ticket inspection. Ticket inspection. Do you remember how to say the space at the train station where you have to show your ticket or insert your ticket? Ticket gate. Ticket gate. Let's try the word that means the waiting space next to the train tracks. Platform. Platform. Okay, what about the word that means the machine where you can buy your tickets? Ticket machine. Ticket machine. Now, let's see if you remember how to say the small space where you can buy a ticket from another person. Ticket booth. Ticket booth. Another one. What about the word that means to transform something or to change something from digital to a physical something, like on a piece of paper? Print. Print. Do you remember how to say to make something public, like a piece of writing or digital content? Publish. Publish. And finally, do you remember how to say the folded piece of paper that gives some basic and important information about an event or an organization? Pamphlet. Pamphlet. Well done! See you next time. Bye!
Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
Hey Jess, one of our days off is going to be in Denver. Do you want to go to a Denver Broncos game?
Well, Michael, I'm married.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean a date. The rest of the crew is going, so I'm inviting you as well. It isn't a date.
Oh, all right, sorry about that.
No problem.
Sure, I'd love to go, just so long as no one makes fun of me for not knowing much about football.
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Game,
A sporting event or competition, a leisure activity.
Bronco,
A wild horse typical of the western United States.
Spoke,
Have something said in order to convey information.
Date.
Romantic activity with the person to do romantic activities with.
Rest,
To stop doing an activity.
Inviting,
Making a polite, formal, or friendly request to go somewhere or do something.
Football,
A form of team game played in North America.
Members,
An individual, thing, or organization belonging to a group.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
Hey Jess, one of our days off is going to be in Denver. Do you want to go to a Denver Broncos game?
well, Michael, I'm married.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean a date. The rest of the crew is going, so I'm inviting you as well. It isn't a date.
Oh, all right, sorry about that.
No problem.
Sure, I'd love to go, just so long as no one makes fun of me for not knowing much about football.
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Listen to the conversation. You'll be tested afterwards.
are you ready to do the safety demonstration, David?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, I just get a bit of stage fright sometimes.
Didn't you practice in school?
No. My first time was last Tuesday on our way to St. Louis. I've only done it once before.
Oh, don't worry. You'll get used to doing the safety demonstration. It's really easier than you think. Are you ready to do the safety demonstration, David?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, I just get a bit of stage fright sometimes.
Didn't you practice in school?
No. My first time was last Tuesday on our way to St. Louis. I've only done it once before.
Oh, don't worry. You'll get used to doing the safety demonstration. It's really easier than you think.
Excellent. Now let's assess your listening skills. Are you ready?
Welcome to your 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series quiz. Each week, we'll release a video teaching you new vocabulary. The following week, you'll be given a quiz so you can test your progress. Click the link in the description. Let's learn and review the words for your test. But if you're ready, it's quiz time. Lobby. Wake-up service. Sweet. Cycling. Auto racing. Scotch tape. Be born. Get a job. Die. Tokyo. Great job on completing the quiz. If you didn't get 100%, don't worry. Just check out the previous video again to review the expressions we covered. But before you go, we have a free gift that you don't want to miss. Use it to expand your vocabulary. Click the link in the description below to download our English ebook with the core 2,000 words for daily life situations. Welcome to your 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series quiz. Each week, we'll release a video teaching you new vocabulary. The following week, you'll be given a quiz so you can test your progress. Click the link in the description. Let's learn and review the words for your test. But if you're ready, it's quiz time. Beijing. London. Paris. Berlin. New York. Rome. Moscow. Ticket. Round trip. Express train. Great job on completing the quiz. If you didn't get 100%, don't worry. Just check out the previous video again to review the expressions we covered. But before you go, we have a free gift that you don't want to miss. Use it to expand your vocabulary. Click the link in the description below to download our English ebook with the core 2,000 words for daily life situations. Welcome to your 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series quiz. Each week, we'll release a video teaching you new vocabulary. The following week, you'll be given a quiz so you can test your progress. Click the link in the description. Let's learn and review the words for your test. But if you're ready, it's quiz time. Local trains. Timetable. Ticket inspection. Ticket gate. Platform. Ticket machine. ticket booth. Print. Publish. Pamphlet. Great job on completing the quiz. If you didn't get 100%, don't worry. Just check out the previous video again to review the expressions we covered. But before you go, we have a free gift that you don't want to miss. Use it to expand your vocabulary. Click the link in the description below to download our English ebook with the core 2,000 words for daily life situations.
Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about how to use the preposition on in English. Let's get started. The first use of on that I want to talk about is with days of the week. We use on before days of the week when we're talking about our schedule. This can be for future tense, for past tense, anytime. Some quick examples: on Tuesday or on Saturday. We also use it before the weekend. On the weekend, like when you're talking about your plans. I'm going to go somewhere on the weekend, or I went somewhere on the weekend. We use on before the weekend as well. If you want to talk about a specific time of day plus the day, you also need to use on. So that means on Monday night, for example, or on Sunday afternoon. So yes, even though you're talking about like night or afternoon, we don't use the prepositions we usually use with these, like at night or in the afternoon. We use on because it precedes, it comes before a day of the week. So please use on when you're referring to days of the week. The next kind of group that I want to talk about is using on when you're talking about special occasions. So special occasions means events, and holidays. So some examples are on your birthday. Of course, your could be my birthday or his birthday, her birthday. Someone's birthday, on Christmas, on Thanksgiving, on Halloween, whatever. Any holidays, on our anniversary. So the anniversary marks the day you got married to someone. So we use on before these special events, these special days. So please keep in mind we use on before all of these. Let's take a look at the next group then. The next group is position-related uses. So when we use on to talk about a position, we're using it to express that an object is on top of some kind of surface. So here's a drawing of a table and a book. We could say the book is on the table. So there's some kind of object that is resting on top of some kind of surface. So I'll show you a couple of different examples of how this is used. It's not always one thing directly on top of another, but it might be one thing on a surface that's not just up and down, but actually a wall, for example. So let's take a look at some examples. First, my coat is on the sofa. So this one, again, is a simple kind of vertical. We can think of it vertically, like up and down example. My coat is on the sofa. Or you left your coffee on my desk. So that means on top of a surface. Your coffee on my desk. These examples, however, have kind of a shift required, so more horizontal thinking instead of vertical. So for example, write your sentence on the board. So when I wrote these sentences on the board, for example, I used on to describe that action, to write something on the board. So you can imagine your letters are on top of the surface that is the board here. So write your sentence on the board. We use on in this case too. I hung a picture on the wall. So again, the same idea where the wall is the surface and we place the picture or we hang the picture on that surface. We use on in all of these cases. Another situation in which we use on is when we're talking about parts of the body, especially when we're talking about like contact points or maybe things that we wear. So some examples. I usually wear a ring on this finger. So I'm talking about an object, something that I wear, and before the part of the body, I use on. I usually wear a ring on this finger. Or to use different clothing or different body part examples, we could say like, he has cool shoes on his feet, or that's a nice sweater on your friend as well. So we can also refer to like a full person, like an actual person, or that shirt looks nice on you. We can use on to refer to a part of the body, and we can also use it to refer to a person as well, like a full, someone's full appearance. We might use on plus that person, like you, as I said, or your friend, to describe someone's appearance in that way. Okay, another one, a bug bit me on my arm. So again, a place on the body, a place that something happened, like a contact point. So a bug bit me on my arm. So on shows like the location, the position on the body part. One more, there's something on your face. So again, that means that there's something that's like maybe stuck to you, and we use on to describe that. We would not use at in this case. We use on to talk about like that contact point. Or if it's more helpful, you can think about it as something being on top of, like the surface of your face. So please use on in these cases. Okay, let's move on to the next group. The next group is for devices, machines, transportation. We use on to talk about all of these types of things. So some very common example sentences might be, I'm on the bus right now. I'm on the bus. So on comes before the type of transportation. You could say, I'm on a plane right now, or I'm on a train right now. I'm on my bike right now, whatever. You can use a mode of transportation to mean that you are riding that thing or you are using that thing. Another example, she's on the phone. So to be on the phone means someone is currently talking to someone. So that means the phone is in use. We use on the phone. When we finish using the phone, you can say, okay, she's off the phone, actually, which means that the phone call has finished. But on the phone is a very common use of on. Another one, I can't open your file on my laptop. I can't open your file on my laptop. So here we're using laptop, but you could use any device. Like I can't open this file on my phone, or I can't open this file from my tablet, or whatever. You can use a type of device and use on to refer to doing something with that. Like I edited this video on my computer, or we're shooting this video on such and such like format. So you can use on to talk about devices. Another one, I saw your post on Instagram. I saw your post on Instagram. So again, this is kind of like a digital sort of, I guess, platform. So for all of like social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, when we want to talk about posts or videos, pictures, whatever, we use on before the platform name. So here, Instagram, you could replace this with anything online. I saw your post on blah, blah, blah. You could use this for like blog articles, publications, whatever. So it's not like a device, no, but it's like a platform, a digital platform. So we use on to talk about that. Another one, we saw you on TV last night. We saw you on TV last night. So we use on TV, yes. We use this one for TV programs. We use it for, as I said, like YouTube, social media, stuff like that. Please keep in mind though, when we're talking about movies, this is kind of a special case. When we're talking about movies, we typically use in. Like, I saw you in a movie. In that case, we would use in. When we're talking about TV, we usually say on. I saw you on TV. So the difference here is that when we're talking about movies and TV, it's like we're describing someone's role. So if someone's job was to perform in a movie, we're kind of referring to their role in the movie. So they kind of were a participant in the group of that movie. So we use in those cases, like they were kind of in the group of people making the movie, if that's helpful for you. When we see someone on TV, maybe, it's like they just happened to be there. Maybe they were doing an interview or something like that. I saw you on TV. So if you want to just talk about like a friend, for example, that you saw in a TV program like local news or something, please use on to describe that. If you want to refer to a friend or something that was appearing in a movie, please use in to do that. We don't say, I saw you on a movie. We saw you in a movie. I suppose an interesting middle ground here is if your friend appears in a TV show. So if your friend is an actor or an actress or something like that, use in to talk about that. Like my friend is in this TV show. But if you want to talk about like if you just happen to see something that's like a show on TV, we use on to describe that. So please use on in most cases for TV, unless you have friends who are actors and actresses. Okay. Let's go to the last group here then. The last group that I have is this common expressions. Common expressions. There are many expressions that use on, and unfortunately there's not an easy rule to remember all of these expressions. We just have to study them like vocabulary words. But I want to address a few very common ones that may cause some confusion from time to time. The first expression is on time. Lots of people ask me, what is the difference between on time and in time? On time means something happens at the scheduled time. For example, the bus arrived on time. So the bus arrived at the scheduled time. Or we didn't start the meeting on time, meaning we did not start the meeting at the scheduled time. So the difference between on time and in time is that in time is used when we want to refer to having enough time to do something. So I didn't arrive in time for the meeting, means I did not arrive with enough time to participate in the meeting. So this is different from on time. On time means something happens at the scheduled time, or in this case, did not happen at the scheduled time. In time means having enough time for something. The other example I wanted to share is on the way, on the way. So sometimes I hear people use in the way. In the way means something is like creating a blockage. There's some kind of barrier between you and something else, or there's some problem, meaning you can't go forward. Something is in the way. When you are on the way, though, you are in the process of traveling, or an object is in the process of traveling. For example, I'm on the way to work, or your package is on the way. So that means it's on its route. It's on the way. So you can think of the way as like the road to a destination. So on the way is used to mean traveling somewhere, currently traveling somewhere. In the way means something is blocking you or something is creating a barrier. So please keep this in mind. All right, so that's an introduction to how and when to use on, the preposition on in English. As I said, there are many expressions that use on, but they just require some study as with any other vocabulary word. So I hope that this helps you. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making some example sentences with on, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Of course, if you like this lesson, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Christine from EnglishClass101.com. In this video, we'll be going over how to agree or disagree in English like a boss. Let's begin. I don't agree. No. Of course. I agree. Oh, absolutely. Maybe? Yes, you're right. I couldn't agree with you more. That's exactly how I feel. Exactly. No doubt about it. You have a point there. I was just going to say that. I guess so. Well, I'm not sure. I don't disagree with you. If you say so, you're wrong. I don't think so. I'm afraid I disagree. That's not always the case. What do you think? Can I add something here? Let's just move on, shall we? I think we're going to have to agree to disagree. That's true. How was it? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. See you next time! Hi everyone, I'm Christine from EnglishClass101.com. In this video, we'll be talking about the top 10 English slang words. Let's begin! Creepy. This is used to say that someone makes you uncomfortable. Teacher's pet. This is used as an insult to classmates who try too hard to impress the teacher, or for someone who is especially liked by a teacher. Scaredy cat. An insult for people who are easily scared. Tattletale, a person who tells authority figures information in order to get someone in trouble. Nerd, a person who is smart but not cool. Ginger, this is an insult for people with red hair. Bimbo, used as an insult for women who aren't smart. Jock, used as an insult for men who are into sports and aren't smart. Show off, someone who takes every opportunity to display their talent. Clown, used to say that someone is silly. How was it? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. See you next time! Hi everyone, it's Christine. Welcome back to another episode of Top Words. Today we'll be talking about 10 reasons to start learning a language. Let's go! It's a beautiful language. Every language has specific characteristics, and some people like the way certain languages sound. Some languages might sound better to you than others. My family comes from a place where the language is spoken. For many people, their cultural heritage is very important to them. If your family speaks another language, you might not be able to talk to some of your relatives or fully understand your background. So many people try to learn the language of the place they descended from. I love the culture and the people who speak the language. If you're really interested in a specific country and its culture, this can be a great reason to learn a language. It's also shown that being interested in a culture motivates language learners to work harder and get better results. I just love learning languages. Some people learn because they have to, and some people just learn because they find it interesting. Learning a language takes time and effort, and some people love the challenge. The language is useful for my job. Gaining new skills is important for many professionals. Being able to speak another language can potentially help your business make more money and maybe even get you a promotion. I live in a country that speaks the language. Living in a country and not being able to speak the language can be hard. Learning the language of the place you live can help you make friends, get a job, and have an easier life. I want to open my mind and become more international. For many people, feeling connected to other cultures and broadening their horizons is especially important. Learning a new language can change how you interact with the world. I want to understand my favorite songs, movies, and TV shows. If you're really into a culture, learning that culture's language can help you enjoy it even more. Learning a new language can add depth to your appreciation of a culture. I love traveling. People who have been bitten by the travel bug, but traveling to a place where you don't know the language can be hard. For example, if you can speak Spanish, there are so many different countries you can visit. It's part of my university studies. Most universities require you to take language class for a few semesters to graduate, but it doesn't have to feel like work. Learning a language for university can open great opportunities in the future. Okay, that's the end of this topic. Is there a reason why you started to learn a language? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and visit EnglishClass101.com for more great English content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Christine. Welcome to another episode of Top English Words. Today we're going to learn 10 must-know verbs for the kitchen. Let's start. To stir. Stir the mixture until it's smooth. To steam. I steam vegetables for lunch. To defrost. Could you defrost the meat, please? Yes, I'll put it in the microwave to defrost faster. Doop, doop, doop. To drain. Drain the noodles well, otherwise the sauce will lose flavor. To slice. I sliced some apples for you, and some carrots, and some other things. To mix. I like to mix coffee with milk, and maybe sugar. To peel. I peeled the tomatoes for you, and some bananas. To beat. You have to beat the egg whites until the foam is firm. To grill. Will you grill some chicken tomorrow? Yeah, sure, I'll grill some chicken tomorrow. To add. Add some salt and pepper for better taste. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to EnglishClass101.com and leave us a comment below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Christine from EnglishClass101.com. In this video, we'll be talking about 10 phrases to help you in an emergency. Let's begin! Help! Use this phrase when you need help or when you want someone to rescue you. In case of an emergency, dial 911. In the United States, the phone number you can dial in case of an emergency is 911. For police, also dial 911. The number is the same for calling the police. It's easy to remember. Call the police, please! Use this phrase when you need someone to call the police. Please state the nature of your emergency. This is what the 911 call center or an officer will say to ask for more details about your emergency. I need a doctor! Use this phrase when you are not feeling very well and want to get medical help. I need an ambulance! Use this phrase when you need an ambulance to come and take you to the hospital. There's a fire! This is a very simple way to catch people's attention in case of a fire. After saying this, you need to explain what happened and where the fire is. I want to report a crime. Use this phrase when you want to report a crime that has happened to you or someone else. My location is... When you call for help through the phone, you'll need to say where you are. Start your explanation with this phrase. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to EnglishClass101.com and leave us a comment below. Bye!
Hi everybody, welcome back to Know Your Verbs. My name is Alicia, and in this episode we're going to talk about the verb count. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with the basic definition of the verb count. The basic definition is to use a number or a unit to find the total amount of something. Examples: please count the number of people. We're counting sheep. Now let's look at the conjugations for this verb. Present, count, counts. Past, counted. Past participle, counted. Progressive, counting. Now let's move on to some additional meanings for this verb. The first additional meaning is to include in a total. Some examples. 50 party guests. Does that count children? 10 people, not counting me, are driving to the lake. So both of these example sentences show us how to use the verb count in the sense of including something in a total. So we're not saying 1, 2, 3. Instead, we're talking about a total number of something, and count is used to mean included inside that total. So in the first example sentence, the question is asked, does that count children? Does that count children? In other words, does that include children? Are children included in that total number? In the second example sentence, it's used in a negative. So 10 people, not counting me, are driving to the lake, meaning 10 people, not including me, are driving to the lake. So this use of count means include. The second additional meaning is to consider or to think of. Let's look at some examples. I count that company among my most valued clients. We don't count him as part of the group. So these uses of count don't really refer to numbers. They don't refer to totals of anything. Actually, this use of count means like to consider something as, or to think of something or someone as something else. So in the first example sentence, it's about a company. So I count that company among my most valued clients. That means I consider that company one of my most valued clients. I think of that company in that way. So this use of count is often used, like we see in this sentence, along with among. Like I count him among my close friends, or I count that person among my worst enemies, for example, something like that. So it's kind of part of a group. You're counting or you're considering that thing or that person as part of a larger group. In the second example sentence, however, it's a negative. We don't count him as part of the group. In other words, we don't consider him or we don't think of him as part of the group. So again, we see kind of a group situation. However, in this negative case, it's that we don't consider that person. We don't count that person as part of this group. So this use means to consider or to think of someone as something, usually like as a larger part of something else. Let's move on to the third additional meaning, which is to have value, to have value. Let's look at some examples. A friend's opinion counts more than the opinion of a stranger. The things I say don't count for much. So we have count here used to mean value, or it has some kind of worth. In the first example sentence, a friend's opinion counts for more than the opinion of a stranger. So in other words, a friend's opinion is more valuable than the opinion of a stranger. In the second example sentence, however, it's a negative. So the things I say don't count for much, means the things I say don't have much value, or the things I say aren't worth much. So count is used in these cases to refer to having value or not having value, as in the second example sentence. So let's take a look at some variations for this verb. The first variation is to count down to. To count down to means to count in decreasing numbers, to use decreasing numbers, usually before some kind of deadline or some kind of event. Let's take a look at some examples. Lots of people count down to midnight on New Year's Eve. The crowd counted down to the conclusion of the soccer game. So in both of these example sentences, we see some kind of special event or something kind of like a deadline. In the first example sentence, it's New Year's Eve. So counting down to midnight usually means counting down like the last 10 seconds of the previous year until we get to 0, or usually with New Year's Eve at 0, we say Happy New Year. We get to like 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. So counting in that decreasing order, counting down to a deadline or counting down to like a buzzer or the end of a game, we use the expression count down for that. So in the second example sentence with soccer, the crowd counts down the last seconds of the game. So the crowd is excited to see their team win, perhaps, so they might count down the final seconds of the game, usually from like 10 until 0. So countdowns typically aren't very long. If you start counting down like way before an event happens, it's really irritating. But typically when you count down to something, it's just the last 10 seconds or so. The next expression is to count on someone. To count on someone means to depend on someone or to rely on someone. Let's look at some examples. We're counting on you to meet us at the airport. Can I count on you to finish the assignment on time? So in these example sentences, we see to count on someone means to rely on someone. So we can actually replace count on with rely on here or depend on here. In the first example sentence, we're counting on you to meet us at the airport. We're relying on you. We're depending on you. So if you don't do this thing, we will be in trouble is the idea here. In the second example sentence, it's a question. Can I count on you to have the assignment finished? So that means, can I rely on you? Can I trust you? Can I depend on you to have this complete? But we use count there. So this doesn't mean like, can I count on you, like using numbers? No, it means to rely or to depend. So please be careful. Very, very different meanings of count for sure. So please pay attention to the context with this verb. This is a very important verb for context, I think. All right, but I hope that you found some new ways of using the verb count. If you know a different way, or if you want to try to make a sentence with this verb, or just have some questions or comments, please feel free to let us know in the comment section of this video. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for other English study tools. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Know Your Verbs, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. 73 points to you if you've watched all 73 episodes. Hi everybody, welcome back to Know Your Verbs. My name is Alicia, and in this episode, we're going to talk about the verb score. Let's get started. Let's start with the basic definition for this verb. The basic definition of score is to get a goal or points in a game or a sporting event. Examples. Our team scored a goal. We scored twice in the first half. Now let's look at the conjugations for this verb. Present, score, scores. Past, scored. Past participle, scored. Progressive, scoring. Now let's talk about some additional meanings for this verb. The first additional meaning is to keep records of a game. Some examples. Who's scoring the game? Scoring a game by hand is tough. So this use of score doesn't mean you yourself or a player gets points in the game or like gets a goal in the game. Actually, this means like keeping the records of the game. So it's like when the team or when the player gets a point or something, it means making a mark or keeping track or following the game and recording the results of the game. That activity is called scoring a game. So we see that in the first example sentence in the question, who's scoring the game? So that means who is the person keeping track of the points or keeping track of the goals in the game. In the second example sentence, scoring a game by hand is tough. So in the past, games like maybe baseball or bowling, for example, we recorded points by hand, like with a pencil and paper. So scoring a game by hand might be tough today because we're used to having a machine score the game for us. So this use of score means keeping track of the results of a game. The next additional meaning of score is to mark with lines or scratches, usually in a row or a pattern of some kind. Examples. The carpenter scored the wood before cutting. This bathroom design features scored stone. So scores, like I said, there's some kind of line or some kind of pattern. So this could be used like when building something or designing a material, designing something for use in a building or for use in construction. So this means maybe like writing lines in a pattern, or it can mean cutting lines in a pattern. You might also see, not necessarily in a row, but some kind of like cut lines that form a design as well. So we refer to that drawing of lines or the cutting of lines with score, the verb score. So in the first example sentence, the carpenter scored the wood before cutting. It could mean the carpenter drew a series of lines on the wood before cutting. In the second example sentence, it's about the stone that's used in a bathroom. So that means the stone used to design a bathroom is scored. So the stone has been scored, in other words. The stone has lines cut into it as part of the design. So score, when used to talk about like a material, like wood or stone perhaps, refers to lines, some kind of pattern. The third additional meaning for the verb score is to get something, usually something you really want, you're really excited about. Let's look at some examples. I scored a free dinner at the company party. He scored tickets to tomorrow's Beyoncé concert. So score here is used to refer to getting something. I scored free dinner tickets. Scored sounds much more exciting than got. So score, if you imagine score like when we score a goal or we score points in a game, we're really excited. It's like an achievement. We're happy about that thing. So when we say I scored tickets to something or I scored a free dinner somewhere, it's like you won something or it's like you got like a goal or it's a really good, enthusiastic way to say I got something. So it's very casual though too. So don't say like to your boss, you know, like, hey, I scored. Well, I guess you could say it to your boss. When I think about like you could use the phrase score in conversation with the boss, I think. However, it has to be about something kind of light, I think. You couldn't talk about like a business achievement with score, like I scored a great deal with the client. That would not be appropriate. If you're talking about something maybe in your personal life, like, yeah, I scored tickets to the Beyoncé concert, like in the second example sentence, it might feel a bit casual, but it wouldn't be necessarily impolite to say such a thing to your boss. It's not a rude word, but it's just kind of used for casual but exciting activities in your life. So to score something, to score Beyoncé tickets, to score a free dinner, it's great. So you got something and you're excited about it. The fourth additional meaning for score is to achieve a goal or to succeed in something. Examples. He scored with that presentation. She's scoring on the deal with her new clients. Here we're using score, yes, for like a business situation. However, we're not really using it to talk to someone above us. We're not talking to a superior. We might use score in this way, like when we're talking to our colleagues or our teammates, like, wow, you scored on that presentation. So it's like a congratulatory expression, a way to show, I recognize your great achievement. You really succeeded with that presentation. You scored with that. In the second example sentence, she's scoring on her deal with the new clients. It sounds like she's really succeeding. She's doing something well in a new deal with her clients. So we can use that, yes, in these situations where we're talking about the achievements of a colleague, but we would not use the word to talk directly to the client. We would not use the word to talk to a superior. This is something we would only use like within our close group of colleagues or perhaps friends. Because again, it is kind of like a casual, friendly word. But we can use this to talk about achievements in this way. Let's move on to some variations for this verb. The first variation is to score points with someone. To score points with someone means to gain favor with someone, to gain social favor with someone. Let's look at some examples. I scored some points with my mom by surprising her with flowers. You want to score some points with management? Give them some new ideas. So here, score points means to gain social favor with someone. In the first example sentence, it's about surprising someone's mom with flowers. So you give someone flowers in this case, and you score points with them, meaning they like you a little bit more. You're gaining social favor, essentially, so that you do something and you get points. It's like you're getting social points for doing that thing. It sounds terrible. It sounds like your relationships are a game in that way, but sometimes we use this as a casual expression to mean that someone was really happy with you for something. I scored some points with my mom. In the second example sentence, we see a suggestion, like, do you want to score some points with management? In other words, do you want management to like you? If so, you should give them some new ideas. So it's kind of giving a tip to the listener, like, what do you think I should do to get some points or to get management to like me? Oh, give them some new ideas. So score points refers to getting social favor. People like you a little bit more because of some action. So we use to score points with someone or to score points with management, as we see in the second example. Okay, let's move on to the next variation, which is just score. So score as an interjection means you're happy about something. You did something successfully. You achieved something successfully. We can use it at the end of a sentence, the beginning of a sentence, after an achievement, after a success. Examples. I got the last cookie. Score. That girl agreed to go out with you? Score. Here we see score used to celebrate something. In the first example sentence, it's about getting a cookie. Like you go to the kitchen or your office break room and there's one more cookie and you want to congratulate yourself for getting the cookie. You can say, I got the last cookie. Score. Like, yes, I'm happy about that. In the second example sentence, it's maybe a conversation. That girl agreed to go out with you? Score. Like, great. Congratulations to you. That's great news for you. It's a success. So we can use score to casually celebrate small successes, very small successes, positive things. We celebrate that. So score is used in this way. So those are hopefully a few new ways for you to use the verb score. I hope that you found something new. Of course, if you have any questions or comments or want to practice making a sentence with this verb, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, subscribe to our channel if you have not already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other good English study resources. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Know Your Verbs, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is input versus output and how to learn language faster. Are you getting results from your language learning? You may be spending time on apps, watching YouTube videos, maybe even reading through a textbook, getting all this input. But what about output? Do you know what you're getting out of it? Most learners don't. Stick around. Today you'll discover 1. The other meaning of input versus output, 2. How tracking your input and output helps you learn a language faster, and 3. How to apply this tactic. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Talking About the Week PDF Conversation Cheat Sheet. Learn how to talk about your plans for the week and how to say the days of the week in the target language. Download this cheat sheet for free. Second, the Daily Conversations Infographic ebook. You'll learn over 100 conversational phrases with this new PDF ebook. And third, How to Say Hello PDF Writing Workbook. With this printable PDF, you'll pick up some common greetings and be able to practice writing them out. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Now to today's topic. Input versus output and how to learn language faster. Part 1. Input versus output. So there are two ways to define input and output. First, from the language learning perspective, input is listening and reading, and output is speaking and writing. The second way to look at it is the effort you put in and the results you get. So input is the time and effort you put into learning the language, like listening to audio lessons for 5 hours a week, and 5 hours is your input, or practicing speaking phrases out loud for 10 minutes a day. And output is the return on the time you invested into the language. In other words, the results. The results could be something like mastering 30 phrases or being able to hold a 3-minute conversation as a result of your input. And that's the input and output we want to focus on today, the time put in and the results you get from the time put in. Part 2, how tracking your input and output helps you learn a language faster. If you take a look around, most learners do a ton of info with studying, right? They read textbooks, they watch videos on YouTube, they spend hours on apps, but they have no measurable results or return on their time invested. If someone told you that they've read 200 pages of a textbook, which is a lot of input, can they place a specific number on their results? Can they say, I learned 1,000 words, or I can handle 20 minutes of conversation as a result of reading 200 pages? Probably not. So most learners don't know because most learners don't measure their input or their output. However, if you knew that listening to 1 hour of audio lessons a week resulted in being able to hold a 3-minute conversation, now you know what results you're getting from your work. And this is where tracking your input and output becomes a powerful way to learn a language faster. Because you can measure your input and output, you can also now improve your results. If 1 hour of input helps you have a 3-minute conversation, you now know how to reach 6 minutes, 9 minutes, and so on. You know how to improve, just add an hour more. Look at it in another way. You can also try to get more output while maintaining your input, 1 hour. So trying to get 7 or 8 minutes of conversation from 1 hour of study time. Now, the numbers may not always be the same because of the law of diminishing returns. But what's important to understand is that if you're putting in effort, you should always aim to get some sort of result in return. Otherwise, you're not making progress. That's why this tactic is so powerful. It almost forces you to improve and get something out of your efforts by looking for ways to beat your current numbers. But if you never knew the numbers, then you wouldn't know what your baseline was and you wouldn't know how to improve. Now, how do you apply this to your language learning? Part 3. How to apply this tactic. It's not hard. Just measure your input or the time you study. We already ask you to set small, measurable monthly goals and outline your daily routines. This should give you an idea of how much time you put in already. Plus, our learning system tracks the time you study. Just visit My Report under the Account drop-down menu. There, you'll see the number of lessons completed, flashcards reviewed, and time studied. Next, measure your results, or your output. You have to start doing output, whether it's a journal, texting your teacher, writing comments on our lessons, having conversations. You have to have that output and measure it. So if your goal is to learn 1,000 words in 1 month, but you only learned 800, then you know that with your current input, 800 is a realistic number. 1 month results in 800 words mastered. And because you know this, you can now improve by doubling your input or changing to a more efficient study method, like learning with flashcards. Simply put, measure your time input and measure your output. And again, to measure the output, you have to do the output. You'll instantly see what results you're getting for the time spent. Thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about, are you putting enough hours into your language? If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye! Picture this. You're sitting with 2 native-speaking friends who are speaking in that language. Maybe you understand a word here and there, but the rest is way too fast for you. If only you could slow down and replay that conversation bit by bit. And if only you had a transcript and translations. Then you'd understand everything and learn the language faster. Well, the good news is you can do just that. Slow down and understand native speed conversations, even if you're a beginner, with our learning system. How? Stick around. Today, you'll discover 1. All about the line-by-line dialogue study tool, 2, how you can easily understand and master conversations as a beginner. And 3, how this tool gets you speaking easily and helps perfect your pronunciation. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. So let's jump in. I'll guide you through our learning system so you get to see exactly what's inside and our members-only study tools. Okay, so let's take a look at what exactly the line-by-line dialogue tool is. So first, you can find the line-by-line dialogue tool in any of our lessons. In this case, I have Beginner Season 1, and the lesson title is How's It Going? And you can find the line-by-line dialogue tool here from the Dialogue tab. If you click this, it will take you directly to the line-by-line section. So I'm going to break down what you can do here in just a moment, but you can also find the line-by-line dialogue tool in any of the Absolute Beginner lessons. So we have this free Absolute Beginner course that's available for a limited time right now. There are more than 50 lessons that you can find inside this Absolute Beginner course. So you will also have access to the line-by-line dialogue tool if you take this course and get access to these lessons. So have a look at that too if you're interested in that. Okay, so let's take a look at what we can do with the line-by-line dialogue tool. So first, you'll notice that there are a couple of icons to the left of each line. So each line here represents one line in the dialogue for that lesson. If you press the speaker icon here on the left, it says play, you will hear just that line. So you'll be able to listen to just that line. This is useful if there's like a line in the dialogue that you had trouble understanding or that wasn't super clear to you, or maybe you want to practice shadowing that line, whatever. You can choose just that one line to listen to. So each line also has, of course, the words. You'll have a transcript here of what was said in the line, and then depending on the language that you're studying, you will also have a translation here too. So it can be a translation in your language or in a language that you know, another language you already know. If that is available for the language you are studying, you will also find that here. So the second thing I want to talk about is this voice recorder function, this icon right here. If you click on this, you will be able to record your voice saying the line. So this is really helpful if you want to work on your pronunciation, because by recording your voice, you get the opportunity to compare your pronunciation with the pronunciation of a native speaker. So this can really help you to make sure that you are pronouncing the words correctly and also using natural intonation. This is super helpful in longer lines like this one, for example. So if you want to make sure that your intonation sounds natural and sounds like a native, you can use this voice recorder feature to make sure that you're doing that correctly. And you can use this 4, 5, 6, 10 times if you want to. It's not just like a one-time thing. So use this, come back to this to make sure that you are getting enough practice with your speaking as well. So you can use this tool, just this tool, for listening practice, for speaking practice, and you can even write these things out if you want in a notebook to get some writing practice too. So there are a lot of different ways that you can use just this dialogue tool to get lots of kinds of practice. And if you want to break this down even further, if you want to break things down a little bit more to more like specific pieces, you can even scroll down to the vocabulary section where you can look at those specific words and specific phrases in depth and listen to them a little bit more slowly to practice too. So there are a lot of different ways that we can use this dialogue tool, just this dialogue tool, to make sure that we have lots of different ways to practice. And if you want to just listen to the entire conversation one more time, you feel pretty confident with the line-by-line practice, you can just come up here and push this play button and you will hear the entire dialogue one more time. If you struggle with understanding conversations in your target language, you'll want this. The line-by-line dialogue breaks down conversations into individual lines, and you'll understand every word of the lesson dialogue. Find it inside all of our audio lessons. So, if you want to learn the language and get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.